Hello and welcome back to the Squeaky Bum Time podcast with Mike and Laurent. It's Monday, March 15th. I have a job. That's not this show. In this episode, I have lists of things that we're going to talk about. We might not talk about, but
we're not going to talk about them.
Brighton won. Liverpool's weird. But first,
no, we're not going to talk about those today.
There's one eventful North London Derby had a Shakespearean quality to it. Mike,
it did.
Tell us about Rabona's Gareth bailout of the game and the last 20 minutes down a man. Mike, the floor is yours.
So it's been about 36 hours almost. And I have not blinked in 36 hours. I've stood and stared at basically like a solar eclipse for 36 hours. That was like the feeling I was left with after this game. We're going to unpack it all in this episode. We're not talking about anything else. So
I can't talk
about
the
one thing I'll say before with regard to the other 18 teams in the Premier League.
Good for you.
There has been one rivalry game this season that was almost as good as what we saw on Sunday. And it was the Merseyside derby at Goodison Park early on.
When they
where Van Dijk got hurt and then the fucking VAR and all that stuff. That game was bananas. Wacky, insane. This
and
game
like 5 Leeds games that we don't remember anymore.
Well, sure. That game though at Goodison Park, this game was that game on like all of the drugs mixed together simultaneously. It was just fucking insane. So here we go. Okay, the lineups come out an hour before the match. The first big storyline of the day: Arsenal captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is not in the lineup for disciplinary reasons, of which Mikel Arteta will not tell us. And I'm sitting on the couch with my fiance and a couple of friends, and I go, he was late. I guarantee you he was late. And Jess is like, really? I'm like, Jess, I've done this. I've been around the block a few times. Yeah. If it was something bigger, if he punched somebody in the face at practice, we would have heard about it.
Yeah.
He was late. He was a lazy son of a bitch, which he is. He was late. And that's it. 5 minutes into the game, the Athletic has the scoop. He was late, blah, blah, blah. Apparently,
not only that, there's the picture of him in some narrow 14th century street in North London in a Lamborghini, whatever car. Yeah, first of all,
you can't miss his car.
Dude, what are you doing driving? Like, you want everyone to see you drive to work?
That's 100% what it is, right? And there's the difference. And I'm going to get really, really just... I'm going to get tinfoil hat already into the show. But like the difference between him and Harry Kane is that Harry Kane spends his time with charities and like sponsors shirts for shittier teams like Leyton Orient, and fucking Aubameyang, however you say his name, he buys Lambos and drives them in cobblestone shit roads and ruins the goddamn transmissions. Like that's the difference between the two guys. Guys, I'm fired up today. Strap in, folks.
So
that's before the game.
Yes, before the game. Yeah. Then the other piece is Spurs lineup is the zombie Spurs are now the Spurs. Like the Europa League Spurs are now Spurs, right?
I go into this, I see the lineup, and I don't even see that Willian and Aubameyang are not in the Arsenal lineup. I see our lineup, and I have some reservations about Doherty at right back. That's called foreshadowing. I like the center backs. I love Reggie. I love the Tanguy and Højbjerg midfield.
Everything looked good. Like it looked right. Really and then good. The Mora at the 10 with whatever role that he's given. You got to
understand, Mora is not the 10. Kane's the 10.
No, I understand that. But
So that gives Mora the freedom to be like that piranha psychopath that he is and nip at your heels, but also get forward. Yeah. Right. And so they're going to have a push-pull relationship.
Right.
It actually it's so stupid. It makes
everything
sense.
Looks like it's supposed to be. Spurs are going after this. They're going to go kick ass.
Right.
You've got, the young Arsenal team, Smith Rowe, Saka, Laka, Xhaka, they're all in there.
Yeah.
David Luiz is in there. You're like, okay, that's good. Tierney, the best, most underrated player in the Premier League. Basically.
Now at this point,
but Suarez was a weird pick. But I think Bellerin, that team's sort of nondescript. They're boring.
Yeah, sure. And so at this point in the day, this is about 15 minutes after lineups come out. Keep in mind, Spurs have not won at the Emirates
10 years
since 2011. You know who the goal scorer was the last time? Fucking Gareth Bale. Okay. I, in my fandom as a Tottenham supporter, have never, ever seen Spurs win a game at the Emirates. Now, at this point, I'm feeling really, really strong. I'm
Yeah,
feeling
sure.
so confident.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. Today's the day. There's no fans there. We're going to go in there. We're going to smack them around. 3-1. 3-1, I said. I felt so good. We're going to concede because we're a dilapidated, like decaying carcass at the back.
Yeah.
But we're going to floor them.
Yeah.
Game starts.
That did not
Game's
happen.
not going great, right?
No.
5 minutes in. I don't think we've gotten it past midfield in the first 10 minutes.
It's Tierney terrorizing Doherty. Like Doherty looked, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but the idea that soccer is a weak link sport, Doherty was such the weak link. He made the whole thing not work, but it was multiplied because Bale had the responsibility, if he was to take it on, to help him.
Right.
And he was never going to help him.
And he wasn't. And so he was staying forward.
And so he makes it look much worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the other thing that Smith Rowe was really smart. He was the 10, but he kept drifting over to that side. So you had,
it was like an overload.
Tierney, right. An overload. And Doherty was not prepared and no one was dropping into that space. The other thing I noticed early on, well, I only noticed this later on, but as the game's progressing, I think they hit the post twice before the greatest moment ever.
Early. So, okay. And so, but even before that, Sanchez is veering to the right from center back. He has to.
And he's the shitty he's the more athletic, but less aware of the pair.
Friends and I were sitting there talking about it. And one of the guys
who was okay. Here, I'm actually the penalty.
We'll get to that. Okay. But the conversation in the living room I was in watching the game was very simply, Davinson Sanchez, I was saying he's the most frustrating player Spurs might have ever had because he has all of the physical tools to be one of the best center backs in the world. He is big, strong, fast.
All the good teams have a guy like this.
Right.
City had Mangala. United have Bailly.
Yeah.
You guys have Sanchez.
But Bailly's good, but he's just hurt, right? So but
Sanchez, he does stupid shit all the time.
Yeah, but Sanchez has all of the physical tools and nothing upstairs, just nothing. And that's again called foreshadowing. But he would get over to the right and help out. So 15 minutes goes by. Smith Rowe from about 20, 25 yards hits a screamer off the crossbar. Oh, like I heard the reverberation.
Yeah, it was hard.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We get out of jail.
I don't like that guy.
It was not 20 minutes because at 17 minutes, the biggest news of the day was that Heung-min Son tried to do an inside run from a long ball, which was our only offense. It's always a bad sign for Spurs when it's like, fuck, what are we going to do? Somebody can make a run in 3, 2, hit it. And so Son cuts inside, comes up lame. He couldn't continue, but he was like, I want to, and everybody's like, shut up, get out of here, knock it off.
Right, but this is the part where I go, do those guys play too much? It was bound to happen.
Well, sure, okay. And so my first thought is, this is not a bad thing because Dele Alli is going to come on the field. He's going to be that number 10 role. You're going to have Lucas out left. I think we're going to be able to control the game a little bit more in the midfield with Dele.
No,
and I was wrong because Jose hates Dele, and he brings on William Shakespeare's Eric Lamela.
God, what a man.
So 17 minutes gone. Arsenal, I'm not even so sure that they've given up possession in their own half yet.
No.
And on comes Eric Lamela for Heung-min Son. Okay, fine. Not ideal, right? My confidence level, which again, may I remind you, 18 minutes ago was super duper sky high. It is taking a blow. It's really not feeling great, but we're still like, hey,
but here's the question I have for you. This is how your team plays. It's not weird.
Sometimes against better competition, not against worse competition. That's the fucking weird thing, is that they came out so flat, and Arsenal came to play. All right, 20 minutes in, confidence level, right? We're like, okay, we're not doing great, but we're going to weather the storm. We're going to get Kane hasn't touched the ball yet.
No.
Bale hasn't touched the ball yet. Guys, we have a lot more positivity coming. We'll just weather this storm and we get out of it. Okay. We grow into the game. ever so slightly, barely. And the ball is coming down the left wing. And Reguilon is doing a great job of getting forward. He puts it into the box to Lucas. And Lucas, one of the more deft touches he has.
No. The pass, this is the only moment. And this part I remember distinctly because this is the only moment of the game that Spurs really had the ball until late. They had the ball for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is the 33rd minute.
Sure.
The cross from Bale to Reguilon is incredible.
That's right. It was a cross field. Yeah. Hey, I see you reverse field. And that was a great ball to kind of take the pressure out of the situation and let Reguilon run.
And it's fast. It's going boom, boom, boom. The ball from Bale to Reguilon is fast. The Reguilon's pass is perfect into Mora. Mora flicks it to Lamela. There's 2 guys in front of him.
Now there's 3 guys.
He's trying to get, and there's no way to get a shot off.
Okay.
None.
So we all know that Eric Lamela is a left-footed player. He is on the left flank of the post. Okay. There's no possible way that he's going to get a shot anywhere close to that. I'm like, just fucking hit off somebody, get a corner. Let's build here from here. The next thing that happens still bends my mind. And the best thing I've seen, the best way I've seen to describe it, somebody on Twitter had like a Lamela kit, like a picture of it. And the ones, right? The ones are doing the Rabona.
Oh,
he
nice.
Fucking Rabona's a first touch. And the best part, I remember vividly the one he made in Europa League in 2014. I genuinely remember that.
The other funny thing about it was the announcers didn't know what happened. It seemed like a fuck up.
Yeah.
Like Martin Tyler got shit from everyone. Martin Tyler is basically the I don't know. He's like the god of
he's the Doc Emmerich of soccer.
Right. He owns a team. He's 80 years old. He's effervescent. He loves soccer. He's not an asshole. But he's just like, oh, Lamela scores. And it was like, what? Yeah. What do you mean?
So
what happened? But then the replays are just like, what the fuck just happened?
So there's 2 things about the replays, but like the thing you don't think about in that situation, by the way, and just going back, if you try that in that situation in training, even if you score, someone's going to kick you. You're doing laps. Fuck off, Eric. Do a lap, you asshole. And he's doing it with a wry smile the whole time. Sorry, coach.
But it's 2-3 guys in front of him.
But he bends it, which is the most ridiculous part about it.
But no, it's a nutmeg through Partey.
Yes.
And it is slow. Like it's rolling and it just rolls into the corner because it's flabbergastingly impossible to do what he did. Reguilon's reaction to it is the best part of the whole goal. Reguilon puts his hands on his head and does the Latino one-handed clap where he's like, holy shit. Because it's what Zidane did when Bale did the overhead kick in the Champions League. It's
at the same time, like, I can't believe that you just did that. But his face is saying sort of a different story. His face is like, oh, I just broke all the Legos and mom is coming down the stairs to kick the shit out of me. Like, it's like there's multiple things going on in that face. You're right. The slow motion replays of Reguilon in the background is amazing. So that's 35 minutes gone. And somehow Spurs have this smash and grab 1-0 lead. Now,
and then they go into full Mourinho mode. Basically.
Sort of. But again, they were already there because
they were
Kane didn't have a touch or a few touches at that point. In fact,
he
had one touch.
The thing I noticed
was watching the game with goes, wait, well, did he take the kickoff? How do you only have one touch at that point in the game?
And I'm not sophisticated enough, but my observation was there was nobody in the midfield to get the ball ever. So Spurs would get it on occasion. They might pass it around a little bit in the defense. It seemed no one ever came for the ball.
Yeah.
There were gaps in the midfield. Like the ball would go out wide and usually expect there to be a triangle, right? The ball goes out wide to the fullback.
Right back.
Someone's in the middle.
Right wing. Yes.
And there's nobody there. Ever.
I think this was a failing of
like
Ndombele's.
Someone just didn't do something.
Right. But so I think that this falls on Ndombele's plate because he's supposed to be the link, right? Even more than Mora or Kane dropping back, because Mora's going to be the link between exactly in that triangle. He's the middle piece, right? You've got, let's say it's on the right side. It's Doherty on the right. You hit either Ndombele or Højbjerg, and then Bale goes or Kane falls in or whatever.
Bale was
but so
nowhere. They were all nowhere. The whole front was gone.
Right.
Or even Lamela when he plays midfield is kind of that energy guy that'll come for the ball.
Yeah, but he was he was sort of stuck out on the left.
And then the other one is that we could go back to it. Doherty just fucking dead. Like he was fucked. And that comes down to the Odegaard goal. Tierney again goes down the wing, picks out Odegaard. It goes through Alderweireld's legs, and then we're going into the break at 1.
At 1-1. And you're sitting there.
And to be fair, like Odegaard, I noticed he was really, really good.
He was good.
Really stitching the ball around. From the Arsenal perspective, they played really well. I mean,
well,
there wasn't even a moment really that they were troubled aside from this absurd Rabona goal that almost takes the narrative out of the first half, that Spurs were awful.
Awful. So the interesting thing about Arsenal is that we've said for years, we've only had the show for 6 months, but we've been talking said for years that Mesut Ozil is supposed to be the thing that Arsenal's missing, but he's not. And in lieu of him, they don't have anybody in that role. They don't have a 10, right?
Oh,
Martin Odegaard is a 10.
Yeah, he's
what they were missing.
Yeah,
very
really
good.
Clearly.
Now, and they didn't even have Martinelli.
And he doesn't really get in the box. He's just like hovering around the top of the box on offense.
Very reminiscent of Eriksen.
Stitching the ball around. Boom, boom, boom. Moving the ball.
He's very Eriksen-like.
And then, so we go into the half.
Right,
Robbie Mustoe hammers them.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't remember because I didn't hear much of the coverage, but let's do a sanity check on Mike's confidence level, right? So again,
you must be feeling decent.
At 12:29 before the match, I'm like, we're gonna stomp these motherfuckers out. At 12:47, I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. At what was it? At the 35th minute at the goal, I'm like, I'm going to play the lottery because this is retarded. And then going into halftime, I went, look, we do not deserve to be winning this game. 1-1 is probably not even fair, but fine. I'll take it. No big. We're going to be all right. At this moment, my favorite thing I told you separately was to start betting on players to get yellow cards, right? I won with Lamela and Dyer when they played City because I was like, they're not going to win. I'm not betting on Spurs, but I bet you these dumb fucks are going to take a couple of yellow cards. So they did, and I won a bunch of money. So going into the half, I'm texting my brother, and I go, hey, what are the odds on all these guys? Lamela, despite coming on as a sub, is the third lowest odds. And I went, you fuck. Fine. I'm not going to bet on Lamela. I'll bet on Ndombele because he had a bad challenge before half, and we'll figure it out. So the second half starts. I don't bet on Eric Lamela to get a yellow card. That's
now
also...
important things happen, right? Because I think this made a difference. Sacco goes off. Pepe comes on.
I was surprised by that. I did not agree.
He was hurt. He got hurt.
Oh, did he? I didn't catch that.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have come off.
Yeah.
Pepe was good. Made a difference.
Uncharacteristically, yes.
Odegaard almost got a goal in. To Lacazette that Sanchez actually saves the day on, which was
so. That's the thing is that
they're playing good defense.
This is why this match is so Shakespearean because there's more than one tragic character in the game.
Yeah,
Lamela is obviously one. We'll get to that in a second if you don't clearly already know what we're talking about. But Sanchez is another one where he had moments. I mean, Doherty is almost Shakespearean, except for the fact he never had any light in his life.
He literally it was really he looked like a guy who shouldn't be playing. He shouldn't have been in that game.
He was the guy in the Shakespeare play who shows up to shovel people's shit.
Yeah,
okay?
He was so bad. He didn't have an offensive moment. He didn't cross anything. All he did was get terrorized. And this speaks to what happens next. Bale comes off. He goes, I'm coming off.
Right. And
he didn't even
Gareth
care.
Bale and I
he was
had
like, oh, whatever.
No, he didn't. No, he was trying to keep it in. He did not agree with that. Nobody did. Here's the problem.
No, he should have come off. He was bad.
No, I disagree. You brought Moussa Sissoko on to protect Matt Doherty. in the 58th or so minute.
57,
okay?
yeah.
All right. You are doing that because you see your right back getting fucking battered. Your first instinct is not sub off the fucking right back. It's go protect him and take your second most talented player off the field. You've already lost Sonny.
Yeah, but they're not getting them the ball.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And at this point, Mourinho we're getting this draw.
Exactly.
You know how he is.
Exactly. And I knew that's what he was doing. And
Yeah.
I strongly disagree with it because I had Spurs on the money line. But nonetheless, I went, how is REA for Doherty not the move right there? How is that? And then I went, of course it's not. It's going to be Mourinho ball the rest of this game. It's going to suck.
Now the question we're coming up to the decisive moment.
But you wait. We've missed one very important moment already.
Yeah.
I mentioned that I didn't bet on Lamela to get a yellow card. 5 minutes into the second half, he takes a shit Lamela challenge and he gets a yellow card. And I went, fuck. All right. Well, whatever. And then Ndombele gets subbed off. So Mike's already lost a bunch of money. And I'm a little bit frustrated about that.
No.
No,
Lamela gets the yellow after the goal.
The second one.
The first.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. All right.
Well,
but nonetheless.
So Dele comes on for Ndombele. He's lively. He has a couple of good touches. Great. Right? I don't think he was bad.
That's right around 60.
Yeah, 62. I'm going through the timeline. So here comes the decisive moment, right? An incredible pass into Lacazette. I don't know who did it. I'm going to guess it was Odegaard. It was Pepe. Yeah, because Pepe was really lively. It's bouncing on the volley, and Lacazette takes the most terrible shot you ever see. A beat later, he basically shanks it. And a beat later, maybe like a half a second, Sanchez comes in, opposite leg, wrong side, fucking clops him, just annihilates him, takes him out.
Yep.
In real time, it looks like a penalty.
Yep.
But we live in a VAR world, which is a very important piece to this thing. And in a VAR world, Lacazette kicks Sanchez because he missed his fucking shot. However,
it's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
I was the only one in that living room. And
I'll tell you why it's a penalty. It's the way that Sanchez comes in.
Yeah.
It's the timing. His position is weird. He comes with he comes with his off leg, right? He comes like hip to hip and kicks out his leg sideways.
Like his outside leg.
Right. It just looks like looks like a penalty, right?
So at the beginning,
it is a penalty.
At the beginning of the show, I mentioned the Liverpool-Everton game from earlier in the year at Merseyside. I'm sorry, at Goodison. And
it's that same challenge.
It's the same challenge as Pickford on Van Dijk. That shit was a penalty, man.
Yeah.
And there was the weirdest thing, like the weirdest technicality why they couldn't give Pickford a red card and give Liverpool a penalty. And their best player has a busted knee for the season, right? Yeah. Like by all rights.
Yeah, I mean, Lacazette could have gotten hurt on that.
He should have gotten hurt on that challenge. And here's the thing: and this is why it happens in hockey a lot, and it makes me crazy. But like, if he got hurt, nobody's ever questioning that penalty, right? Because the outcome is so egregious and so detrimental to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And you cannot govern based on result. You have to govern based on intent.
Yeah, and it was
always.
And the thing is like Sanchez was just late. He would have clattered him.
Right. Oh, God. Oh, my God. You know what? Thank goodness he was late. I mean, the same fucking result happened. He would have broke him in half. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Lacazette puts it away after basically embarrassing himself. So Arsenal are up 2-1.
67th minute?
There's a little bit of a fight. Lamela's feeling testy, and he fucking clatters Partey. And Lee Dixon said it in commentary. He's like, there's the North London Derby. It just started now. He was like, okay, now we've got something.
Yeah.
There's literally no space in the timeline here between the red. They just go, Lamela gets a yellow, Lamela gets a red. The
second foul was chintzy. The first foul was absolutely a yellow, and he should have had one already.
Twice on Sunday.
Yeah. But the second foul was
he
cheap.
could have not given it, but he was stupid to throw his arm out like that.
But he also, I think it was Odegaard because a guy.
No, it was Tierney.
Right. Okay. So short,
Another
inbred
short
white guy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he cousin fucker is what he looks like. But
he's good though.
But he's like 4'3". So Lamela just trying to push you off, just get a little bit of room. And he smacks him in the chin. It's like, dude, that's supposed to be somebody else's midsection. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do there? And I did think it was harsh. I think you give him especially he's on a yellow, right? You know that. And you go, hey, one more fucking time, Eric. One more time, I swear to God. That's the right call from the ref.
The thing is, it was just so hand in the, like, it was just, it had a little force. It was intentional, but it wasn't intentional to hit him in the face. It's just like, just don't do that.
Look, I think of course. I think if you look at that play in a vacuum. It's
very Lamela. It's very.
Oh, it's the most.
By the way, the thing to watch for the rest of the season is he play again. Yeah,
because fucking Jose loves him.
No,
right? Like, he still won't. He still won't play Dele.
Dele was good.
He still won't play him. Is my point. But if you look at that foul in a vacuum, it's a borderline yellow card. It's a borderline. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Had it been in the first 10 minutes, he wouldn't have got it.
He wouldn't have got one. And I think circumstances should play into referee decisions.
Yeah.
And sometimes and often they should. But I think that this is one where you go, hey, you're on a yellow. Don't be a fucking moron again. Or I swear to God, you're getting an early shower. Get out of my sight. Don't even look at me. Don't even look at me. I gave you one there. He never even flinched. The only time I forget the referee's at. I think it was Michael Oliver.
It was Oliver, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Oliver.
He didn't even. I got to give it to you.
It was the only time he even stuttered was because he couldn't remember what fucking pocket his red was in. Yeah, he couldn't find his ass pocket or his tit pocket or whatever.
So
here's the really weird thing. So, okay, you've already got a Shakespearean story where this player who's not supposed to be in the game comes in, has the three of the four most important moments of the game so far.
Yeah.
67 minutes gone, Arsenal winning 2-1 and up a man. And you would think at this point, especially a Jose team, you would think there's really no way back. There's no way back.
Not Spurs. They get all of a sudden they're awesome.
Finally. So I gotta really believe in the last 23 minutes in stoppage time of that game, you saw Harry Kane refusing to accept what just happened.
Yeah.
Right. Just outwardly, angrily refusing.
Here's the thing, right? So you get Xhaka fouls. Mora was the best player on Spurs by a lot. He would get the ball, turn and go. So he gets the ball, turns and goes.
Yes.
Xhaka, as usual, unathletic. All his defensive qualities are he fouls you.
Right. By the way, we're in the 85th minute now.
Right.
It's been Spurs have been growing into the game. They've been the more dominant side
in the second half.
85th minute, and you've got middle of the field, like if it was a football field, it'd be like a 40-yard line foul, right? So Mora is taking a free kick, and the funny thing about Mora is that he, like Tierney, isn't Oompa Loompa. He's just attractive and Brazilian.
Yeah.
Although he's bald, and the funny thing about his corners and his free kicks is that he skies them. And I'm always laughing because I'm like, yo, you're another one who's like 4'3", but yet you put it somewhere where only Peter Crouch could get it, right?
Yeah.
So it's really more of a Hail Mary throw into the box, but who gets on the end of it? And I literally, seconds before he takes this kick, I go, do me a solid. Just find that sixth head of Harry Kane.
Yeah,
just go ahead.
He puts it in, but the flag.
But so he puts it in, and I'm amongst people who I don't know very well, and I might have peed a little. I lost my fucking marbles. I went nuts. I ran into the next room. But the weirdest part was, as I was running past the TV, I saw Kane hesitate, and I immediately knew. And I went, so I just walked into a bedroom I've never been in before and screamed fuck into a pillow. Because I knew what was going on.
This is normal football. Then Arsenal brings on the checking line of Mohamed El Neni, which usually means that Arsenal thinks they're going to win the game. And I noted that while I was watching, I was like, they got worse. Much worse.
Yes, they did.
So Elneny comes in.
One more
partnered
chance.
next to Xhaka. They basically just ready to shut the game down with another 5 minutes to go. And there is a foul on, I don't know how they get a free kick, but
I
Kane
think it was
gets a
Xhaka
free
again.
kick.
So now again, Kane gets a free kick. It's much closer than the last one before. It's a good shot.
It's really close.
It's to the left,
and it's on the Kane side where Kane does.
It's to the left, so a right-footed Kane can bend it. But it's not close. It's still 30 plus yards from goal. Okay,
awesome.
And we're sitting here. We're like, listen, it's the 92nd minute. Fuck it, have a go. You know why? Because what are the chances of it going in off of somebody other than you?
Yeah.
Very, very minimal. You might as well.
Oh,
there was also,
you know what? I just forgot another part of the narrative in this.
What do you got? Let's go back. What do you have?
Nothing. This shot that is incredible.
Yeah, no, it's not incredible. It's fucking painful.
Well, Kane does a laser beam on the ground. They have a guy lying down behind the wall. He just shot around the wall.
He bends the wall. Leno doesn't even see it.
Hits the post.
Clank.
I forgot. Goes to Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
About that part.
Clanks off the bar, goes right to Sanchez in the 6-yard box, who fucking, dude, I saw the panic in his eyes from Florida.
And he was falling down. He's falling down. It's not a great strike, but it's hard enough to get in.
He gets it on net, and I think it was Xhaka with the goal line clearance. Gabriel.
Yeah.
Goal line clearance. The rest of the game peters out. Arsenal win 2-1.
And you were so close to the smash and grabbiest draw ever. It would have been the most Spursy Spur. It's like new Spursy.
So it reminds me of one of the greatest Tottenham Arsenal goal I've seen in my tenure as a Spurs fan was clearly
the one where is the one where Kane's cutting in and shoots it into the far corner,
and the Batman mask, and he takes it off and all that shit. People forget that Arsenal, after that goal, went down a man, down 2-1, found a way to tie it because Spurs, and that game ended in a 2-2 draw.
Is that the Walcott game?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that was
where he gets carried off on the stretcher. But
that's the 2-0 game where he goes like that. No, that
legend forever.
Like we blew that lead down a man.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to talk about that part of that game. But
So
I find myself.
What is this? So you're going through the game. What does this mean for Spurs season? What do you think it means?
It's the only game I cared about left, to be quite honest. We're gonna be at least Europa League finalists. So we might win that fucking thing. And I understand the importance of it. I'm warming to the importance of it. But more than a year's worth of Champions League, more than
the fucking League Cup, easy.
I don't care. But listen,
you'll care if you win.
No, I don't. And I'll tell you why I'm getting to it in Europa League. Europa League's value is genuine. It's tangible, right?
Real, yeah.
3 reasons. A trophy, great. But more importantly, the money.
It's big.
The money you get for winning the tournament and then getting into Champions League. But the thing that nobody talks about is if you make a run in the Premier League and you get 4th, you're in pot 3, maybe pot 4. If you win the Europa League, you're in pot 1 of Champions League. That is ridiculously stupid. But nonetheless, these are the rules, okay? You're going to get a cushy Champions League draw in the group stage next year, and you're going to get another 15, 20 million for making it to the round of 16. So right there, that's like a $70 million game.
No, the Champions League is like, for English teams, it's like 60 million and 80 million a team. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, sure. But listen, and you're going to get into the round of 16. So you're already winning more. Right.
Yeah.
So of course it makes all the sense in the world. At this point, you're not playing Chelsea, you're not playing Arsenal. Like, who gives a shit? All of your fucking weight is now on the Premier League. I mean, in the Europa League, and that makes sense. Yeah. One important caveat, though, is that now the intentions of the club and the best interest of the club has now also come back around to align with the best interest of Jose Mourinho. Right. All he does is leave trophies everywhere he goes. Dude, he won a bunch of meaningless shit at Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United. They're supposed to act like a Europa League matters? Are you fucking kidding me?
It matters,
Fine.
man.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It did for that team because they finished 6th and they got into the Champions League.
I understand. And for the functional value of it and for the dollars and cents value of it, yes, I totally agree.
You'd be lucky. You'd be lucky if you get to play Ajax in the final. That was the baby Ajax team that then became the one that ruined your life, or you ruined their life. Whose life got ruined? Theirs.
We ruined theirs. They ruined Juventus's life, and then we ruined theirs.
You ruined ours.
But like, you can't tell me that all of the shit that Sir Alex won, you can't tell me your Europa League trophy matters more than like 15 minutes worth to them, and it doesn't, and it shouldn't.
It's all about context. For Spurs, it's massive.
Yes. And I understand that, and I appreciate it, and I'm on board.
Like, Daniel Levy has been the chairman of that club for 20 years and has won League Cup in year 1.
I know. 2008.
Yeah.
I know. And they beat Chelsea. But what I'm telling you is I'm just frustrated by the fact that it is what I need to root for now.
Oh no, it sucks.
It sucks so bad because all it's going to be talked about is, well, Jose won that. So, I mean, it was successful. Dude, nobody's going to talk about the time that they showed up at the Emirates and everybody on the field had a super tiny limp dick. Like, they just got out of the pool
except Mora.
For 90 minutes, except for Mora and Lamela.
Well, Lamela, I don't know what Lamela gets.
Lamela's cock was like a shank. He was going to insert something. But
can I talk about the games? I feel terrible if I don't get to talk about it.
Okay, all right.
I'll just do the scores.
Take a breath.
I'll do a little bit of score. I'll just do a quick recap, very quickly. Brighton won. That's all I got. No. In the battle for relegation, Brighton got a massive 3 points. They're 3 points ahead with a game in hand, and they get the tiebreaker over Fulham. And Brighton, wouldn't you guess it, play Newcastle this week.
That's exciting.
So this is the only thing I'm following. My team won, no problem. They're moving along. They beat Fulham 3-0 in first gear.
They were fucking floored them.
Yeah. We played a weird lineup, a 3 in the back. It was Diaz, Stones, and Laporte. Was fucking weird. We were disjointed and weird, just looking for the Champions League, but they imploded. That was fine. Leeds with the shutout versus Chelsea, another big deal. Man United beating West Ham. These were games I did not watch. I did not care. Did not want to watch Man United play West Ham. That was
I wanted to. If we won against Arsenal, I'd be like, oh, let's have another beer and watch the late game.
Yeah, no.
No, I didn't fucking care.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was, hey, look, Liverpool just got a clean sheet and beat Wolves with a lineup. Weirdly, they used the 2 center backs they had and played their best midfielder in the midfield in Fabinho again. Somehow Klopp figured this fucking out.
Yeah.
Don't tell me he's on the par with Guardiola. Like, Guardiola would have figured that shit out.
I think so.
or maybe not, because
Guardiola would never have gone to a job where he had even the amount of injuries that Klopp has had this year. He still wouldn't have had the amount of, or the lack of depth, I should say.
Well, I think maybe at first, but I think at this point Guardiola just goes to teams and they just do whatever he says because it works, right? It's just like, I guess we'll just do what he says.
Yeah. So I'm not looking at any of the games. I'm looking at a blank screen in your beautiful face, and I have to tell you, I have no idea what else we have to talk about. Like, usually I have all my notes up. I'm super meticulous. I'm like, no, I'm going on field for this one. We went on a deep North London Derby. We went on a deep psychological profile of what it feels like to be a fan. And I think that's the important piece. What really happens. Like, I watched that game. Spurs aren't my team. Arsenal aren't my team. I never felt any of the feelings you felt. Not even a little bit. Like, half of the game was boring to me. So we had
but I know how that is. Like, there are games where you watch your team and they're the most important game you've ever seen. And to everyone else, it's just a 1-0. But to you, it's the most breathless. Like, for me, is the 2018 game against Liverpool, 1-0 to City, where John Stones cleared.
No, that was a great game. That
game was fucking ridiculous.
That was
like a 1-goal game.
Right.
I don't even know.
So I'll put it to you this way, and this is what it was like to sit through that experience, the Eric Lamela, William Shakespeare experience. The Davinson Sanchez William Shakespeare experience. We had about like a 25-minute drive home. Jessica drove, don't worry. Because I was fucking blitzed at that point. And, we got right down the street from our place. And I went, hey, do me a favor. Drop me off like the local bar I go to. I'm like, drop me off at the place.
So I can start crying.
No, she goes, and yes. But I kept my shit together long enough in the car for her to think that I'm not about to black out the minute I get a foot on the ground inside this bar. And I go, hey, would you mind? I just want to have another drink. I just got to chill out for a little bit. And I go to get out of the car. She goes, all right, well, just don't get too drunk. And I looked at her. I was already out of the car. So like the cat was out of the bag. I went, honey, that's exactly why I got out of the fucking car. So yeah, I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock last night because I was like,
see what happened, man.
Yeah.
These are the experiences that Tottenham Hotspur
they are happening. I'm sort of like letting my citydom sort of slide through. We're gonna win the league. I'm living my best life as a Brighton fan. I'm really getting a lot out of them.
Yeah, you are. And God willing, they'll be here for a whole nother year.
Oh God, I can't wait till they get a striker. I'm gonna be like on their fucking transfer wires, like, when they get a fucking striker. Danny Welbeck started for the first time since December.
Who was my thought for them? Shit, I had an idea.
I know who it is. It's a City player. He's like a Harry Kane type. He's 18 years old. He plays for City's development squad. Liam Delap. That's a goal scorer.
Oh, I'm hurt. Yeah, I've heard him. No, but like there was like, I don't know anybody, but there was
Daniel Sturridge.
No, it wasn't Sturridge, but it was a guy. I'll be damned. I'll remember it and it'll piss me off. But like, yeah, there was a guy I was watching this weekend. I'm like, they should fucking just get him. This guy stinks, but he'll fall into 20 goals for Brighton.
Che Adams?
No, but he's on the list. He's on the list of guys like that.
There's a ton.
Ready? Here it is.
Oh, Michy Batshuayi.
Michy Batshuayi. Like that guy fucking sucks. But he would get 20 goals.
He can't go to Palace and then go to them. That's not right. That's our rival.
Dude, he stinks. But even at Chelsea, when he wasn't hitting the goalpost off his face, like
you don't want to know who should go to Brighton? Christian Pulisic.
All right. There's not enough time in this show, but I'm gonna come in hot. I'm gonna come in hot again on Thursday about a Pulisic take, and we'll
he's
have a
getting
Chelsea
lapped,
show.
And he's gonna get left behind.
We're gonna have a Chelsea show on Thursday. Okay, Chelsea fans, tune in. We're gonna piss you off on Thursday.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna wrap it up. That was the Squeaky Bum Time podcast with Mike Salerno and Laurent Cortines. We release new episodes on Mondays and Thursdays. Please rate and review on Apple Podcasts or any podcast you like, as it makes a huge difference for the show. Mike, that was fantastic. I hope you
are. Oh no,